Wait. Wait. Just wait, okay? Just wait. Minute. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Oh, cholera! Czy to Freddy Fazbear? Or. Okay, hello everyone. You missed me, I guess. I don't know. I need to do the microphone. How are you doing? Because I'm fine. Look, happy to be Halloween. I'm a witch's cat, black cat. If you can see, so yeah, you know what is today in the video? You can see it. Yes, FNAF. Also, more here. Yeah. Welcome. Today we will talk about FNAF movie because yesterday I was in the premiere of the FNAF movie. Also, warning, spoilers, we will talk about FNAF movie story. Yay! Everyone are happy. So yeah, if you didn't watch the FNAF movie or will be, please turn off the video. I will wait 5 seconds. Okay, time's up. You don't have a choice. You will listen to me. First, we will talk about the premiere going out to this movie because it was, oh my god. Never go to a premiere. I beg you, never go to a premiere. This is horrible. Really. Like, oh my god. So I went to a premiere with my mom because she was a big fan and this was my treat, so I went with her. I got 2 tickets for the premiere of the movie Five Nights at Freddy's. I even went with a cosplay and we went and we got there, and also the line was so long, literally. The line for the popcorn, the line for the tickets, and the line for the scanning tickets was the same line. So if you don't wanna even buy a popcorn, you have to wait in this line. Because it's one line. Oh my god, this was horrible. I can't describe how much I was tired after this. So we were waiting 40 minutes for them, for us to pass to the main area for the gates, and 20 minutes to get into the scanning line, and then we went into the movie theater. I mean cinema. The cinema room. And the first thing was that the ads were going, like normally, but it was like 20 minutes of the ads running, 20 minutes for ads, and everyone was fed up because we were like, we are waiting for FNAF movie for so long, why we have to wait for the movie with the ads. It was like unskippable ads, we don't like it. and everyone started to yell, FNAF, FNAF, FNAF. Sorry. And everyone was like, we want FNAF, we want FNAF, we want FNAF. This guy that was operating the projector was like, oh my god, please get me fired, I don't want to work here anymore. And we were like, FNAF, 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 FNAF. Like the whole movie theater was FNAF, 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 FNAF. By the way, before me going in, there was like few people wanted to take photos with me, so I did. Then it turned into a line of people who wanted to take a picture with me because I was in cosplay of a guard from the Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, I was casual for the movie. I was like, when I was seeing cosplayers, I was like, hey, puppet. That was cringe. Or, hey, Sandrop. Or, yo, Mangle. You know what I mean? And everyone was like, hey. They were confused. So we went into the movie, the ads, blah blah blah, FNAF, FNAF, FNAF. Everyone was yelling, and the movie started with the Blumhouse logo, Michael Myers and every killer are out there, and everyone was like, "This is not FNAF," and I was like, "Wait, guys." This is an opening, guys. And everyone's like, yes, FNAF movie. And we were literally like in circus, like clown in the circus. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Everyone's like, whoa, oh my god, FNAF, oh. So yeah. So the opening started, and there was this guard running away from Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics. He goes into the vent. I mean, yeah, he goes into the vent. He goes, but they captured him. They got him into the trap, the Freddy mask saw trap. You know what I mean? And they were like, and he goes like, no. He tried to unscrew this chair, but he didn't made out, and and Freddy must close in on him, and there was like opening scene, like the opening, not the opening movie, the opening, the real opening of openings. There were like 8-bit graphic with the 5 main kids that went missing, and there was this purple guy in a bunny suit in the 8-bit. Wow, Scott, you made it. And we were like, wow, Bonnie, Spring Bonnie, yeah. Everyone were screaming in top of their lungs like, oh my god, FNAF movie. So yeah, and after 5 kids getting out with the Spring Bonnie, there was this scene with Spring Bonnie doing this type of the emotion, like, 8-bit, something like in the spring suit. sorry. Then the camera goes black, and me, 6 a.m. Mike is waking up. We welcome new characters. Abby, his brother, Garrett that went missing, Aunt, the babysitter, the goons, Sorry. Then Mike goes to work in the mall, and we cut to the scene with the coworker, the Mike giving the coworker the book called Dream Theory. Mike is obsessed with dreams because he can see them. He can dream about the same scene over and over again about Garrett getting missing. Because some guy just got him into a car and also he then went, after talking with a coworker about the dream theory, he went for the ice cream because Mike is a babe. He is one of us. He is great, okay? And he went for ice cream. He wants some ice cream. He sees kid that was, alone in the mall. And then he saw someone, like a man, getting him along with him. Getting his arm, and we go. And Mike then sprinted after him. So, he was like, no way, someone gonna capture the kid again. And then he went, and it was the best scene ever. He jumped onto this man who and in the fountain, the trailer, from the trailer scene, he just, and the kid was screaming, "Daddy!" Turns out it was his dad. It was this kid's dad. And Mike was like, oh no. He got fired from the job. Sorry, Mike. Everyone was like, Lamau, oh my god, relatable in the movie theater. Everyone was like, yeah, when he was like in the fountain. So yeah, then we cut to the next scene, which is Mike seeking a job from Steve. Yeah, the shaggy Steve. So yeah. And he seeks job, and he was in the office of Steve, and Steve was sus. He was like, Mr. Mike. You want some coffee? No. He was like, this is Mike Schmidt. Oh my god, no. 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 And Mike was like, no, I don't want coffee. He was acting so sus, like he knows Mike. And I was like, I know where this is going. And he was like, your portfolio looks so bad, you will only get hired at Freddy's. What is the pay? Not good. What is the hours? Worse. And he was like, nah, thanks man. And he was like, wait. Here, my card. If you want to work at Freddy's, just call me. And he was like, yeah, I'm bye. And he went home. There was this flashback about Garrett. Mike and his family was, his family was getting burgers ready, cola spilled, normal family. So yeah, he just, played. Garrett was with his airplane playing. He was like, playing, what I mean. And then Mom was like, never look away from Garrett, please look after him. And Mike was like, yeah, yes. So yeah. Then there was this frisbee thrown, and then he looked away for the frisbee to get frisbee, and when he looked back, Garrett was in the back of the seat of the car without the plates, and someone was driving away with him. Mike was running after this car, running after it, but he didn't make it. Garrett was captured. He will never come back. So yeah, I was like, crying, almost crying, and everyone was like behind me. Whoa! It was not the horror, atmosphere. It was like, oh my god, he just did it! Wow! So yeah, then we went to aunt talking with Mike that he's unsuitable to be a parent for Abby. I mean the guardian of Abby. They don't have parents now, so Mike is only one is the only guardian who take care of her, and also aunt is only for the money for Abby, not for Abby. She's really Karen-y like. So yeah. Mike was like, nah, I don't think so. You little, nah. And he walked back home from this. He walks home. Abby sees the papers. She thinks that Mike wanna give her away, but Mike is like, no, that's not what you think. And and she's really mad about this. So for court to look good at court, he rings the Steve, and he's like, yo, I need a job for Freddy's, and he was like, ooh, all right, let's go, let's do it, babe, let's do it. So it was funny. He was like explaining what to do to my blah 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 blah, the rules and everything. And Mike's opens the locker room, and then was the balloon boy toy jump scare. It was like this tall toy of balloon boy in the locker room. He just he wanted it to not look at him, so he just spun it around. He gets into his security guard suit and falls asleep. That's Mike for you. Yes, he falls asleep. And then he have the same flashback of Garen getting captured, but then he's like grown up, and also behind him are 5 kids, the missing kids. So he's like, who are you? And what are you doing? And everyone was like running away, and he was like, wait, no. He runs after the ghost of Chica, and he trips into the dream, and in the real world he really trips. He fell, but then it was 6 a.m, so he went home. Nice. Nice dream. It reminds me of my dreams, not gonna lie. So yeah. The aunt at the Sparky's, because there was this scene at the Sparky's. Sparky's reference to the Sparky the dog, the one made out screenshot from the FNAF 1, but it was fake. So so aunt was talking with the babysitter and the goons, the goons, the bad, it's bad, and she was like, I want Abby, and you will tell me how to do it. And he was like, we will rob Freddy's. And she is like, and and they will fire Mike for this. And she's like, that sounds amazing. And he's like, $2,000. And she's like, no, 1,000, and that's it. And he was like, yes. So Mike sleeps again in the job in the next night, and he's dreaming again about the same dream. But now he gets after the Foxy ghost, and he wants explanation. He gets the Foxy by the shoulder, and the kid had the black eyes and dripping, and he screamed and got his hooky into his arm, and his arm was, cutted. I mean, not deep, but still. And he woke up with the same injury as in the dream. Like, what? With the same injury that he had in a dream. That was mind-blowing for me. So yeah. Then he hears the ringing, and he looks into the camera, and it's Officer. Oh no, the police. So So he goes to the door, opens it, and there was a Vanessa. She's like, yo, what's up, my man? And he's like, yo, what's up? And she was like, you know that you have, the hand is bleeding. And he's like, looks at it, and it really is. It really is. And then he's like, I was dreaming, right? And then he meets Vanessa. Vanessa is showing him the gang, the Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy, Foxy, Chicken, Foxy Showtime. They were singing "Close Your Eyes, Go to Sleep," and it was like Mike was sleeping and they are singing this. Oh my god. And then, she's helping him wrap up the injury for his arm. And then, they go. In the morning, the goons are, robbing the Freddys, but animatronics aren't on stage. Ooh. Oh no, everyone was like in the cinema. Oh no, let's see what happens. And yeah, one by one gets, you know what I mean. I think first was I don't know. First was, I think, Goon that met Chica and Cupcake, who was gone in the kitchen. Next was Bonnie. That was in the closet, and closet was locked behind them. So yeah. Next was Foxy running after someone, and at the end there was this babysitter from the Mike's house that was babysitting Abby, but was hired by the aunt. And then she hears the "follow me" by the little kid, and she was like walking to him. And then they walked into the back room, where the So Freddy mask was in. And then she then she walked into the suit, and the boy is like, "Closer, warmer," and she's like going onto the stool, and then looking into the animatronic's mouth. And the kid was like getting her into this, and so no more babysitter for Mike. So the next day, and then Vanessa comes visit Mike, and she's like, "Yo, someone robbed Freddy's," and he's like, "I didn't know. I slept." And she was like, "You are a guard, and you fell asleep on your job. You serious?" So yeah, they had a talk about Garrett and everything that happened. And Vanessa was like, "I'm sorry that happened." So yeah. At the next night shift, Mike was with Abby because there was no babysitter. He couldn't, rank her up because she's no longer with the living, of course. So yeah. And he with Abby made it. So yeah. He's with Abby. He fell asleep, and then he goes to the Golden Freddy kid, and he's like, "What do you want?" And the Golden Freddy kid is like, What do you want? What do you give me if you want to undo your doing, rewind the time and save Garrett?" And he's like, "I do anything." And he's like, "Seems fair." And he drew the bunny on the ground. And then he wakes up. The Abby was screaming. He runs after her, and then he sees the 4 animatronics, tickling her. And it was so wholesome. She's like, "Mike, those are my friends. This is Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy." And he's like, "Seems pretty sus." And then they were friendly to Mike, and she's like, "Guys, this is Mike, my brother." And they are like, so yeah, they started to play together. Vanessa came by, and they made a fort in the pizzeria. Vanessa went for the cloth, and Mike with her, and then he was like, "What is this endoskeleton?" Puts finger to Vanessa was like, no, wait. She gets a broom, puts this between the spring locks, and the spring locks like the broom in the half, and he's like, "Oh my god, this could be my finger." And she's like, "Those are spring lock suits. Don't touch them, don't touch them." And he's like, you seem pretty sus. You know almost everything about Freddy's. What do you hide? What do you hide, blonde woman?" And she's like, "Nothing. There is no sus." So yeah. And Mike was like, still pretty sus. So yeah. So then Abby walks to Bonnie and wanted to, the guitar, touch the guitar, and Vanessa was like, "Oh, where?" And she was like, "Nyong," and this sparkles comes out of the animatronics. She was shocked. So yeah, and Abby was laying, and Vanessa was like, "Mike, you need to get out." And he was like, "You okay? You okay?" And she was like, "Never bring Abby to Freddy's again." And Vanessa wanted to whoop his ass because of it, even if it wasn't his fault. So yeah, so then he, calls aunt for her to babysit Abby, and Abby was like, "You wanna give me away?" And the and, and the aunt is like, "Oh, my sweetie," the fake doing. And he walks alone to Freddy's. He fell asleep again. Then the kids are like, "You want this, right?" And he was like, "This dream is different. Why Garrett isn't captured? Why everyone are there?" And they are like, "Mike, what do you mean?" Like the family. "What do you mean, Mike? You know that we are here?" And he's like touching the Garrett, seems so real, like on the head. And they were like, "We can make this dream every night if you give us an Abby." And he's like, petting Garrett on the head. He said yes, but then he remembers Abby, and then he's like, this is wrong. This isn't how it went. And they're like, "You said you wanted to reverse the time, change the ways that it happened." And he's like, no, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I wanted. He was like screaming that this isn't what he wanted. And then the animatronic, not the animatronic, but the ghosts of the animatronics were hurting him because he disagreed with them. Then he wakes up in the same trap as the guard before, the Freddy mask with the saws inside. He was trapped in, and he did the same as the last guard, but he succeeded and he slipped away from the trap. Animatronics were after him, but he escaped. He woke up in the Vanessa's police station first aid kit, I don't know. And he's like, "Where am I?" "In my crib, yo." And he's like, "You knew they will do this. You knew it." And she's like, "He knows that you want that you wanna find him. He knows. He will come soon." And he's like, Who will gonna come?" And she's like, "Better run." So yeah, then we cut to the scene where Abby was with the home with Aunt, and Golden Freddy appeared, and Aunt be gone, and then Golden Freddy was like, "Come," to Abby, and they went into the cab, the taxi, and the guy was like, "Why do I get weirdos?" And then they drove to Freddy's, and Vanessa was like, they wanna make her like one of them, like not in the world of living, and Abby went with Freddy. There was like a show, for her on the scene. Freddy was singing Bonnie and Foxy. Chica was getting her to the backstage, not the backstage, like a back room with the saw thingy. Also there was Sparky animatronic behind us, yeah. And yeah, Mike was after them he stole cop car and draw to this place. Like, I was like, he stole the cop car. What? So yeah, and then Mike saw Abby going with Chica, and he hid out under the stage, and he got the bucket of water, got splash it on the stage and then teased it with the teaser for them to paralyze the animatronics. He ran it after the Abby. Chica almost succeeded with putting her into the Springlock suit, but Mike got here and it was like, you little... Mike is the most powerful person in the world, so never mess with Mike. So, And then they try to escape, but oh my god, the purple man in the Springlock suit, and everyone was like, oh, Spring Bonnie, oh my god, oh, that's what I was waiting for, Everyone in the cinema was like, literally like, screaming, Spring Bonnie, William Afton, wow. And William is like, I always come back. No. He was first like, I killed Garrett. And Mike was like, and now I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean? And then Mike went into the Street Fighter mode with Springtrap. I mean the Spring Bonnie William. But he failed. Because animatronic suit was so powerful. It's like power armor. So, then Mike looked at the picture of Spring Bonnie with 5 kids and was like, Abby, listen, kid, listen. Draw what really happens. And she was drawing Springtrap killing the 5 of them. And then Vanessa tried to help her, but she got stabbed. So yeah, be gone, Bunny. And Abby just put the picture up on the wall, and every animatronic looked at it and was like, William, you little shit. And they were like, making the Springlock fail, like they were around him, like in this mini game, and Springlock suit was failing. Mike got Vanessa and Abby and just walked out. So yeah, and William was like putting the head and says, I always come back. And everyone was like in the cinema, oh, he always come back. Oh my god, he always come back. Wow. We love it. Oh my god. William. So yeah, and it comes to an end with the bye-bye, like they don't have any problem, like no aunt, no goons, no fake babysitter. They are all alone now. Abby is now talking to him, and she says that they are still there in the pizzeria, like they didn't went to heaven. They stayed with William. So yeah, before the credits, they visited Vanessa in the hospital. So yeah, I don't know if she will survive or something. So yeah, and after the credits and the Living Tombstone Five Nights at Freddy's 1 song, there was a Springtrap still, like in the back room, was like, and the Golden Freddy child was like, and then closed the door. So yeah, when it ended, everyone was clapping, yelling, like, whoa. I was like to my ma, my legs, and she was like, come on, we have to go. And I was like, oh. So yeah, we walked to an exit, which exit wasn't down there but up there. So we were like, where is the exit? And Mai's like, oh, okay. And that was amazing. That was just amazing. This movie is amazing, and I hope there will be second movie, FNAF 2, because of the balloon boy. I really wanna see Charlie, not gonna lie. And I love it. My theory is like, I have a theory that there are like, one theory is like Mike Schmidt isn't Michael Afton, and this is the separate person from the FNAF 1. Like, Mike Schmidt is separate person than the Michael Afton, and William only knows him because of the Garrett. And I have the second theory, which is the theory of universes, which in other universes, like me, in other universe I can be a man, not a woman. So and I think like in other this is the other universe, not the original universe. This is the other universe. And I think like in the other universes, like I don't think I just don't think that it is like original like original timeline, original canon. I think this is not like canon. I think it's the other universe. Like in other universe, Mike have other brother, other sister, or in the other universe, or in other universe, Mike can be, in animatronic trapped. Sissy can be, or even Ivan can be gone, but maybe Elizabeth would be alive and she would be in Ennard. Like when the Mike was like, when the Ennard was in Mike, I think Elizabeth would then be like the zombie, like Mike was. And I think that in other universe, Ivan can be one surviving, but the other two cannot. And this is like the theory that I had for the time I just saw this movie, because I don't think this is canon. Because I just don't think it's canon. I think it's other universe than this. Because in other universe, everything can change. Every little detail can change. In the original, Mike Schmidt was in theory Michael Afton. And, life goes on. And then he was Fritz Smith, but, And I think it's just other universe thing. I don't have other choices. It's A, canon, but it's separate from Michael Afton, or B, it's other universe. Because I don't know, it's maybe can be canon but other Mike, but it also can be other universe Mike. So it can be a canon universe, Elizabeth universe, Sissy universe, Michael universe, Mike universe, Steven universe. No. So yeah, that's my theory, because that doesn't seem canon for me. But if you have any opinion of any theory for this, you can tell me in the comments below, because I wanted to hear it. But for now, thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Five Nights at Freddy's fans. Bye bye.